Hello friends, and welcome to Ouroboros Tarot. Today's pick a card reading is looking into what it is that the person on your mind has realized. Some very oddly specific messages came through, so if something doesn't resonate for you today, it's probably because there's not a message here for you. So please, first and foremost, always listen to your intuition above anyone else's. But with that being said, I have 3 piles for you guys to choose from today. Pile 1, Pile 2, and Pile 3. Go ahead and pause this video if you need to. Take as much time as you need to find the pile that sits right with your energy as well as with your person's, and I will see you in a minute. Hello, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading, looking into what it is that the person on your mind has realized. So the card that you chose to pick your pile is number 44, the traumatized. And the affirmation is, I acknowledge that I have been traumatized, but also that I am healing. We also have the coyote with the keyword being vocal, the rock hopper with the keyword being equilibrium. We have Thanatos. We have gossip. We have summer breeze and growth. I apologize if you can hear random noises. My upstairs neighbors sometimes I feel like they walk around with like cement blocks for shoes. We also have patience, and we have pleasure. I'm also going to go ahead and pull some tarot to get us started. What is it that Pile 1's person has realized when it comes to this connection, as well as when it comes to Pile 1? What is it that they have realized when it comes to this connection? Okay, so we have Justice and the 5 of Cups. What is it that they have realized, Spirit? Okay. We have the Sun. What is it that they have realized? Okay, we also have the Page of Pentacles and the 7 of Wands. Okay, I think that's good for now. We'll go ahead and clarify as we need to. I feel like this is a connection that more than likely has come to a close, or it feels energetically like it's shifting toward something different. Like there's some sort of change happening that feels somewhat bittersweet. And I also feel like for a lot of you, this is or was a connection that didn't necessarily ever get quite off the ground. Like maybe this was a situationship, or this was something casual. It could be that this was like a full-on relationship, but if that's the case, the way in which this person treated this connection was not in alignment with that truth. But it feels very strongly like for the majority of you, this connection never quite got off the ground, or didn't reach its fullest potential. And I have a feeling that your person really didn't treat you fairly, or treat this connection with the respect that it deserved as a bare minimum. And it may even be that you have felt recently or in the past as though this person behaved as though you meant nothing to them in the end. And if that's the case, which I feel very strongly as though it is, because from what I'm seeing them realizing, it seems as though this is something that has just hit them square in the head, and it's a huge wake-up call. There's definitely an element of mourning here. This person is realizing that this connection is more than likely coming to a close. There could have been resistance to that, or there could have been a stubbornness on their end of them believing that you would continuously put up with whatever it was that they were presenting that wasn't healthy or worthy of your time and your energy. And there seems to be a realization now that that is not the case, that these cycles are not going to continue. And not only that, but this ending comes with a deep, deep pain in knowing that they're losing something that actually was very, very important. And I don't necessarily know if they realized how important this connection was to them or how important you were to them until they realized that this connection was over. I don't even think they realized for a while the harm in which they may have caused you, or the hurt that you may have been going through outside of this connection that was affecting the way you were showing up in life. With the traumatized here, it feels like there's this realization on their end that either they have hurt you, they have traumatized you, or that you were not doing well and they were not aware of that, or they were not showing up for you. They were not being supportive of something that was going on for you in your own life. It feels like this person has had I would almost say it feels, the word that's coming to mind is a gut-wrenching realization. Like, it's not like a realization where they're like, oh man, I could have handled that better. It feels like this person may have been avoiding the truth of what it was that they didn't want to see within themselves for quite some time. And you can only run away from yourself for so long. And it feels like this person has had the gut-wrenching reality of what has happened kind of drilled into them in some sort of way. And there is a feeling on this person's end of having lost something that was very, very special to them. And having wronged you. It feels like there's a really big perspective shift when it comes to how this person reflects back on this connection now. I know a lot of the time, especially with the type of energy that I'm seeing here, with this like avoidant, not wanting to process things or not wanting to feel your feelings type of energy that I'm picking up on from the past, there very well could have been a period in time where this person felt very much so overwhelmed by whatever was transpiring between the two of you. And because of this, they chose to just kind of turn their back on this connection, or chose to focus on all of the reasons as to why they should leave. There was an imbalance is what I want to say. And with this, now I would say, like, with time having passed by, there's this, with time having passed by and with this feeling of overwhelm kind of being lifted, things can be seen clearly from this person's end. And now they are remembering the good times that this connection had, the things that this connection offered them that were of benefit to them. With summer breeze here, as well as with pleasure and patience, there's this element of them really looking back with nostalgia and rose-colored glasses. And I think there's an element here of them realizing that there was a lot of love, at least on your end, for this person. There's like this element of slowness, like time stood more still. Time was slowed down when the two of you were together. There could be a lot of memories that they are looking back on in terms of the two of you being outdoors together, perhaps when the weather was really nice. But it feels like they're recognizing that perhaps Perhaps there was an air of impatience to them that they can't take back. And with gossip and growth here, both of these cards are representing aspects of the heart chakra. So there's definitely like realizations of the heart space here for this person. And the story behind the gossip, if we look at this image, what the story is telling us is that this woman dressed in green was somebody who was a lot different than the rest of the people in her town. And because of this, she was a source of gossip. People kind of treated her a little bit differently. And once she passed on, they went into her house and they realized that she was an artist and she had painted the entire town. And she had done so from the eyes of someone who loved all of her neighbors. Like, they were painted with love. They were painted with positivity. And then her neighbors, if you see how they're looking at her in this image, they're looking at her as if they are better than her, or they just don't understand her. And I get the feeling that this person feels as though they misunderstood you. This person feels as though they lost something very, very good by having lost you. And I think that these realizations are realizations that are really opening this person up to evolving. I don't think that they like what they see in the mirror. The coyote and the rockhopper are representative of what they have realized about you in particular. And the message that's coming through very strongly, especially with the coyote, when the coyote came out, the message that came through very specifically was that you can have all of the communication skills in the world. You can have practiced them and perfected them to a T. Have the healthiest communication skills in the world, and it will not matter if someone is determined to misunderstand you. And it feels like they're recognizing their own stubbornness or their own determination to misunderstand you, and perhaps even paint this picture of you that was much, much different than what the reality of the matter was. They're seeing you in a very balanced way. They're realizing that you're a very complex person, and the emotions, the words, the actions that you took were all within reason, or were all well balanced and valid. There wasn't anything about you that was demanding too much, or there wasn't any aspect of you that was really out of line, or really crossing a boundary, or was coming out of left field. Everything was warranted. Let's go ahead and clarify. Please clarify justice, Spirit. We have death. Please clarify the 5 of Cups. Yep, we have the 9 of Cups. I'm going to keep going, and then I'll talk about what I'm seeing. Please clarify the Sun. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Please clarify the Page of Pentacles. We have the Emperor and, so we have the Devil, the 6 of Wands, and the Emperor. Please clarify the 7 of Wands. We have the 9 of Swords. And then on the back of the deck, we have the 4 of Swords. And then underneath that, we have the 2 of Cups. I feel like your person's kicking themselves. What I'm seeing from this 9 of Cups and this 5 of Cups is they're realizing that everything it is that they had wanted, or everything that it is that they have claimed to have desired in someone, they had found in you in some way, shape, or form. And for whatever reason, they could not they could not see what was in front of them when the time had come. And this could very well be because they were focused on other things that weren't going right in their life. But this Five of Cups clarifying, or the Nine of Cups clarifying the Five of Cups, is telling me that if you've been wondering whether or not this person misses you, the answer is yes. But there's this element of like them feeling as though they must reap what they sow. And what they've sown is a burned bridge. I think that they learned a lot about themselves. And this isn't entirely just them learning about aspects of themselves where they need to be a better partner or be a better person, be a better friend. But this is also like realizations of how certain things from their past, most specifically for a lot of you, their childhood, may very well still be affecting how they approach life. And there's this element of like them acknowledging that they've harmed you, but also there's this realization that they themselves are harmed. And that, of course, is not in any way me making excuses for them or even them making excuses for them. There's no excuse for treating someone poorly. We're all in control of the choices that we make. We all have free will. But I don't necessarily know if they have been someone who in the past has been willing to admit that perhaps things affect them more deeply than they put on. I think they see their stubbornness for what it is. Like there are instances where people have firm values that they will not let go of. And then there's their stubbornness where it feels as though it's self-protective, but really in the end it ends up harming rather than protecting. It ends up harming them as well as others. There's this closed off energy here of like needing to stay safe that has done more harm than it has good for them. I'm going to get a few more oracles, I think, to clarify. I want to clarify this Nine of Swords and the Seven of Wands. Why is the Nine of Swords and the Seven of Wands here? We have number 23, Labyrinth, and number 41, No One Is Yours But You. And then on the back of the deck, we have Protect Your Heart. They're replaying this over and over and over again in their head, and it feels like they're not quite here yet, but they're going through some sort of awakening where they're on the cusp of realizing that not everything is black and white, especially when it comes to attachment or to connecting with others. Like, yes, this is true. No one is yours but you. But when is this, like with Protect Your Heart being the bottom of the deck energy, it feels like they're kind of waking up to the fact that while there is truth to this idea that no one is yours but you, there's also truth to the fact that connecting with others and feeling a oneness with others is there's truth in that as well. And there needs to be an openness to connecting with others. And it seems like for this person, there's been a lot of boundaries and walls placed up that have kind of prohibited others from coming into that heart space. Yeah. This one was heavy. This person feels like they're there's a lot of introspection going on and remorse, or at least acceptance for their role in how things have panned out for this connection in particular. Let's go ahead and get some advice for you guys. What advice is there for pile 1? Okay, so we have levity. Laughter is the best legal medicine, and it looks like it's time for you to take a sweet, sweet hit of it. When someone annoys you or a plan goes awry, try finding something funny in there. And if you ever feel like the butt of the joke, remember that the only difference between someone laughing at you and someone laughing with you is that in the first version, you're not laughing. You always have the option, so opt to lighten up. It's legal in almost 200 countries. And we have compassion. I choose compassion over criticism. Walking a mile in other people's shoes reminds me they might be going through something tougher than I think. Like their shoes are too tight, or they're the kind of shoes that are too casual to be dressy and too dressy to be casual. Basically, I have no idea what they're dealing with privately, so I'll cut them some slack and be thankful for the shoes I've been dealt. I feel like, especially if this is a situation or a connection that you have been processing for a while now, it feels like your guide's message to you is to allow yourself to move forward and remember to not allow this person to strip away all the joy that you have built for yourself in your life. And with this compassion card, I think first and foremost, these cards are a call to practicing self-compassion, perhaps showing yourself the compassion or even the understanding, the lightheartedness that perhaps this person was unable to give you, in whatever way that resonates for you. This also could be taking a compassionate approach to releasing any sort of negative emotions that are holding you back from moving forward. However these resonate for you, first and foremost, please listen to that. But those are some of the messages that are coming through for me. But that's what I'm seeing for you guys today, pile 1. Thank you so much for giving me this chance to read for you today. I do have readings where there are extended videos as well to the readings on YouTube. So if that is something that you're interested in participating in, please feel free to join our channel membership. Otherwise, I hope that I will have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye! Hi, pile 2. This reading is looking into what is it that the person on your mind has realized. And the card that you guys have chosen is number 2, the benefactor. The affirmation is, I enjoy life now as I take steps to realize my new tomorrow. We also have the turkey with the keyword being observe. We have the lemur with the keyword being warmth. We have shameless, kairos, courage, wisdom, and workaholic. Let's see, I'm going to put this right there. Okay, maybe I should put this here too. There is space for it. Okay, let's go ahead and shuffle some tarot. We'll pull a few cards and then we'll get more as we go. What is it that pile 2's person has realized about this connection, about pile 2? Okay, so we have the Chariot. Okay, we have the Two of Wands, the Ten of Cups. We have the Star, and we have Temperance. I'm going to go ahead and leave it for now. So the first message that came through with the Chariot card, like the first thing that stood out to me immediately when this card fell out was what looks like Like, I guess you could consider this like lightning, but to me, when I saw it, I saw cracks in like the foundation. And the message that came through, the words that came through were that this person suddenly understands why things may have gone south or been very difficult for them in the past outside of this connection. In a manner of, what I mean by this is like they feel as though they understand why they went through what they did, because a lot of the things that they were resisting or made them uncomfortable or were triggering them into growing were a means to connecting with you. Like there's this message coming through of, I understand now why it had to be the way that it was. So that's coming through. With this card, this is the card that you guys chose, the benefactor. And there's a couple of messages that are coming through. The first message that's coming through is a very specific message, and I don't think it's going to resonate for all of you, but if it doesn't, I still think that this may be your pile, depending on what other messages come through after this. But it feels like for some of you, this person may be somebody who is incredibly hyper independent, especially with workaholic here, as well as with lemur. It feels like they may be somebody who is very independent or very used to going about things on their own, not asking for help or not wanting to get their hopes up. And I get this feeling that for those of you who this is resonating for, this person has come to some sort of realization where they are understanding that asking for help or connecting with others, allowing others to help them even if they haven't asked for help, can be at times a form of self-love. Especially if we deny ourselves that help or we deny ourselves that connection for a fear of being a burden or for a fear of being rejected eventually or a fear of being let down in the future. When we're not accepting help or we're not asking for help because there's a fear around that for whatever reason, it's not coming from a place of self-love. Of course, there's opportunities to not ask for help when we know we can do it. And we know that there's like a nugget of wisdom in that. But when help is being presented or support or love or opportunities are being presented, I think it may be difficult for this person to accept that. And it feels like this is a connection that is really helping them open up to understanding this about themselves, but also to opening up to the fact that they do in fact want to connect, most specifically with you. But another thing that's coming through with this benefactor card, as well as with Kairos, is that your person is realizing that everything, it's like this sounds so cliche. Everything that I'm seeing is like one big cliche, it almost feels like. But it feels like they are realizing that everything happens for a reason. And there's something on the horizon for the two of you. It feels like this person has been waiting or wondering whether or not something between the two of you is going to happen, something between the two of you is going to come into fruition. And they feel as though the air is ripe currently for the potential that they have been seeing for this connection. They perhaps in the past have really doubted whether or not this connection is going to be one that stands the test of time or whether or not this connection can go on to the next level. And it seems like they're realizing that this connection very much so has a future and has a really strong foundation. And not only that, but like there's a happy ending for this story is what they're kind of feeling. But it feels like this kind of thing, these realizations and these experiences that they are a part of with you are things that may be outside of their comfort zone or are things that they have not experienced on their own or with another person before in an honest and authentic and truthful way. Like perhaps they've been in connections in the past where they felt as though there was a really strong connection, but there was a veil being placed over things and things appeared differently than they actually were. And within this connection, they feel as though they can have faith. They can have faith in what it is that they're seeing. They can trust what it is that they're seeing. I'm going to pull some more tarot. Let's go ahead and clarify before we keep going. Why is the Chariot here? Please clarify the Chariot. We have the Five of Cups. Why is the Two of Wands here? We have the Lovers. Why is the Ten of Cups here? Why is the Ten of Cups here, Spirit? Please clarify the Ten of Cups. Okay, we have the Page of Wands. Why is the Star here? We have the Moon. And why is Temperance here? Please clarify Temperance. We have the King of Wands. And then on the back of the deck, we have the King of Pentacles. Okay, so I feel like this person is opening up to the idea that it is safe to feel excited. Like there's this person may be a very cautious person when it comes to love or vulnerability, or it could be that they are somebody who has been betrayed in the past and may not necessarily have the best relationship when it comes to trusting themselves and therefore trusting others. But when it comes to this connection, they've come to the conclusion that it's safe to look forward to the future. It's safe to open themselves up to the potential of what this could be. And if there was any doubt that this person had when it comes to how they were feeling or how you were feeling, it feels like they've made their decision. Or if there was any doubt when it came to what it is that they wanted or what path they wanted to take, it feels like they've made that decision. And the decision is that they want you. They want to encourage and foster these feelings. I get the feeling that they have been somebody who has not allowed themselves to be happy or live fully in some regard, in some aspect of their life. And there's healing that this connection has brought. And in a lot of ways, I almost feel like they may really feel a strong connection to you in a physical sense, like the physical chemistry or the physical intimacy that the two of you share is something that has really helped open up their heart space, with Shameless here as well as with Temperance. Temperance is a card of healing, a card of kind of coming back into balance, of tempering things down. But if we look at this particular image, we see two people laying in bed together. And we also have this butterfly here representing like rebirth, growth, things like that, death and renewal. And it seems like they feel as though connecting with you has helped them open up even to themselves, open up the parts of themselves that perhaps they've even been hiding from themselves. There's been a removal of shame here. Whether or not that has to do with them feeling as though they're not good enough, or whether or not it has to do with them not forgiving themselves for a past mistake, this connection is one that they are realizing is incredibly healing for them, and also challenges them. This connection challenges them to step outside of their typical way of approaching things or thinking about things. It's broadened their horizons. I do want to get some clarification on the star and the moon. Why is the star and the moon here? Please clarify the star and the moon. We have body as a house. That's really interesting. So this message is that this person has realized that it doesn't have to be either or. It can be and. Like, I feel afraid and I want to pursue this. Or I am unsure of whether or not I will receive this, and I'm still willing to try because I see that it will be worse to always wonder for myself whether or not something could have come if I would have put in the effort. There seems to be an understanding on this person's end, a realization on this person's end that you can be afraid and still be courageous. You can be afraid and feel fear and still take an action that goes against that feeling. Fear does not have to dictate this person. And I think that part of this has to do with the fact that how they see you, what they've realized about you, is that you truly are an incredibly trustworthy person, somebody who really is supportive, somebody who really is going to be there for them when the going gets tough. Lemurs are very community focused creatures. They thrive in their relationships. They desire to be that source of warmth for the ones that they love. So there's definitely a sense of comfort and safety when it comes to you. They're seeing you as somebody who truly has their best interest at heart. And with the turkey here, I get the feeling that this is representative of them realizing the impact that you have had on the perspective shifts and the eye-opening experiences that they've had since having met you. I feel like this person is incredibly grateful, not only for you, but for the experiences that have led up to having met you. On the back of the deck, we have inside looking out. I'm actually going to get another deck. Please clarify these two cards, inside looking out and the king. Yeah. Okay, so we have isolation. I think they've realized that the only thing standing in their way between getting what it is that they want, reaching this abundant King of Pentacles energy, is themselves. With this inside looking out card, it's this person who's closed themselves off to the world and is looking out, kind of yearning to be a part of it. And with isolation being the word for this card, it feels like they're recognizing that if they don't if they don't take responsibility for putting themselves out there, if they don't allow themselves to feel that discomfort, especially if this person is somebody who is somewhat shy or very introverted, if they don't put themselves out there for the things that they want, they aren't going to have anyone to blame besides themselves, regardless of what the outcome would have been. If they would have put themselves out there and been rejected or been accepted, it wouldn't even matter if they hadn't even put themselves out there. There's this realization of the responsibility that they are needing to take when it comes to the role they play in their life and where they want their life to go. Okay, that's what I'm seeing for you guys. This person seems to be just incredibly grateful for you. And I would say this is somebody who really looks up to you, really values you, really sees something sacred within you. And I get the feeling that they feel as though you have helped them see their self-worth as well. And not just their self-worth, what I mean by that is their self-worth by simply being. Not their self-worth because of what they can bring to the table. Not their self-worth because of what it is that they're wearing or because of the job that they have or how much money they're making. Not anything on a surface level. This is them just realizing that on a soul level, they are capable of love and they are deserving of love. Okay, let's go ahead and get you guys some advice. You sound like it. If this is resonating, pile 2, you guys sound like wonderful human beings. And I would want to be your friend for sure. What advice is there for pile 2 when it comes to this connection? We have no scorekeeping. I cut ties with past conflicts and make my personal life a clean, shiny slate. Beginning this moment, everything is new. When an old grievance repeats itself in my head, I introduce it to my new head tenants. Tolerance and equanimity. Then I give it stupid t-shirts and records back and tell it to leave. So this is interesting. So one thing that's kind of coming through with this no scorekeeping is that if what I was talking about the cracks in the foundation, going through difficult times, if that is something that has to do with perhaps a mistake that they made, I feel like this may be a message, so long as this is resonating for you intuitively. This may be a message that whatever that mistake was, it seems as though this person has learned from it, and it's not something that needs to be held on to, unless it's something that you want to hold on to make a different decision away from this person. But if there's a desire to move this connection forward, it may be beneficial for you, for this connection, to let go of past grievances. Obviously, that's another. There's all these little various specific messages that are kind of scattered throughout this reading. So it'll be interesting to kind of see which messages were for who, I guess. Let's see. What advice is there for pile 2 when it comes to this connection? And we have receiving. I open up and allow myself to receive love in all ways, from all directions. It may seem scary, but it's better than receiving audits, bedbugs, or hate mail. I receive love, and it feels so good that I decide to receive it some more, and then some more, and maybe just a wee bit more. So this, I think, is a message of, if it resonates for you that perhaps this person has had a difficult time in the past with accepting or receiving love or help of any kind, especially if this is something that you've put a lot of effort into, is to helping this person see how much they're cared for, how much you're there for them. It's also important to remind yourself that you deserve this as well. And I would even say another thing that's kind of coming through with this, not only with receiving, is asking for what it is that you want to receive. But obviously there's a million ways to interpret these two cards, so take them as they resonate for you first and foremost before you listen to what my interpretation is. But this is what I'm seeing for you guys today, pile 2. Thank you so much for giving me this chance to read for you. I do have a channel membership where I post extended versions or extended readings to certain videos. So if that is something that you're interested in experiencing, participating in, please feel free to click on the link in the description box to join the channel membership. Otherwise, I hope that I will see you in another video soon. Bye. Hello, pile 3, and welcome to your reading on what is it that the person on your mind has realized. The card that you guys chose today is number 41, the Improviser. The affirmation is, I effortlessly adapt to deal with unexpected circumstances. We also have pile 3, the Salamander, with the keyword being discreet. We have the Goat with the keyword being charm. We have self-worth, perseverance, protection, the Ocean, and we have crossing fate. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull some tarot to start. We'll pull a little bit more as we go. I may pull more oracles to get clarification on certain things, but we'll go ahead and pull just a few cards to start. What is it that pile 3's person has realized about this connection, about pile 3? What have they realized? So we have the Lovers. We have the Death card, the 5 of Wands. What is it that this person has realized? We have the 4 of Pentacles. What have they realized? What is it that this person has realized? And we have the High Priestess. Okay. So, your person, I think one of the biggest realizations that your person has had recently has to do with you. I kind of am getting the feeling that your person has felt for some time as though they don't necessarily understand you in some sort of way. Like they don't necessarily understand why it is that you're doing the things that you're doing, or why you're acting in the way that you are, or saying the things that you're saying. There's this element here of them not understanding, but it goes beyond that. With the Salamander being represented as discreetness, there's this message coming through about your person feeling as though the reason why they've been having a difficult time understanding or feeling like they have clarity on what it is that you're feeling, or what it is that you're thinking, or what it is that you're wanting, has to do with the fact that they're kind of coming to the realization that you may very well be acting in terms of self-protection. Like, I get this feeling that there is an energy to you, for whatever reason, that is very shut off to allowing others in. And I see it here with the 4 of Pentacles. I also see it here with the 5 of Wands. There's this like defensiveness, and like there's walls up, and this person, I think perhaps in the past, felt as though this was something that had to personally do with them, or they felt as though this, whatever it was that they were picking up on, was perhaps you not being truthful or honest. Like there was perhaps betrayal here. I think there's just this element of them having an aha moment, of them realizing that whatever it was that they were perceiving to be the truth wasn't necessarily the case. There were things that didn't have anything to do with them that are affecting you. So I would say if you're clicking on this pile and you feel as though the person that you're inquiring about is somebody who has wronged you or harmed you, this isn't your pile. I'm picking up more so on a very self-protective energy that is causing a blockage when it comes to connecting deeply with others. There's like trust issues almost. But what I will say is that even though there are these walls up, with the salamander here indicating kind of like a secretness or a private, like a value on privacy, even though there's this element here, we also have the goat. This to me is telling me that regardless of how little you've allowed them to see your inner heart, your inner mind, your inner world, they like what it is that they're seeing. They seem to think that you're somebody who has much more to offer than perhaps you are wanting to accept. Like there's a lot of really wonderful qualities about you. There's a magnetism to you that this person is seeing, that I get the feeling that they're not quite understand why you don't necessarily see this within yourself, or you don't necessarily want to act on knowing that you have all of these wonderful qualities. But despite this, I just get the feeling that this person is aware, or has become aware recently, of some perhaps wounds from the past that you are still somewhat dealing with, whether or not you have admitted this to this person or not. It feels like they are recognizing that this is something that is prominent in the connection, regardless of whether or not it's been acknowledged. But at the same time, even though they see this as like some sort of blockage happening between the two of you, there's a really, really strong desire here to continue pushing this connection forward, to continue seeing where things go. I don't think that things, whatever has happened between the two of you, it doesn't feel as though what's gone on has been something that was expected, especially here with the improviser. I effortlessly adapt to deal with unexpected circumstances, as well as with crossing fate. It feels like there's, regardless of if you intentionally laid everything out on the table or whether or not this person has realized these things on their own, now everything is out on the table. And from what this person can tell, now a decision needs to be made on how to move forward. For whatever is happening here, there's now has come the time for a decision to be made. And this person feels very strongly about what it is that they want and what decision they want to make. There's no confusion here for them. And I would say that they really want to move things forward. I think it's interesting that we have this improviser card, and this person has these monarch butterfly wings on their back, and then right underneath it we have the death card, and it's being represented by this monarch butterfly. And this to me is indicative of them realizing that the crossroads that the two of you are facing, the opportunities for change that the two of you are facing, is an opportunity to put something to rest and to open up a new door. Or it's an opportunity to put something to rest and move forward without it. And what path they would like to take is a path in which the two of you continue connecting very, very deeply. They see a lot of potential for this connection. There's a really, really strong emotional tie that this person feels to you. And they in no way, there's this understanding on this person's end, especially because the ocean is coming through. There's this realization that your healing journey, anyone's healing journey, is yours and yours alone. There's nothing that this person can do to kind of manipulate the situation or contain you in any sort of way, just as you cannot manipulate or contain the ocean. It contains depths. And there's this state of acceptance that this person is in, where they are accepting what comes with connecting with others, which means peeling back layers, which means understanding that we all have multitudes, we all have depths to us, and we all have a right to choose how we go about life based on what it is that we want, based on our past experiences, based on the things we need to heal, want to heal, or refuse to heal. We all have that right. And it feels like this person has realized that and is not trying to contain you in any way or sway you in any way. They simply want to be a part of this. They want to be a part of you, a part of this connection with you as you are. Let's go ahead and continue. Why is the Lovers here, Spirit? Please clarify the Lovers. We have the Tower. Why is Death here? Please clarify Death. What is it that this person has realized? We have the Nine of Wands. Why is the Five of Wands here? We have the Two of Pentacles. Why is the Four of Pentacles here? Let's see, we have the Seven of Pentacles. And why is the High Priestess here? Oops. I'm just going to keep going. Why is the High Priestess here, Spirit? Please clarify. We have the Knight of Cups. And on the back of the deck, we have the Queen of Swords. I feel like for a lot of you, your person is recognizing that you have been going through some sort of transformation that may feel scary or may be painful, maybe something that like is even something that wasn't intended, but you have to ride this wave out. There's been a really big change that you've been going through, and you've been feeling as though you've had to do this alone. There's this deep knowing within this person, this realization within this person that intuitively it feels right to them to move this connection forward, to continue to show up in an emotionally available way, in a gentle, loving way. However, at the same time, I feel as though because this person recognizes the truth in everyone having the right to make their own decisions, the right to go about life in their own way, on their own terms, in their own time. Because there is this realization here, there's also this realization that it doesn't necessarily matter what it is that this person wants. This could be taken away from them very quickly. I'm gonna pull I'm gonna pull some more cards to clarify. I want to clarify the Five of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. Why is the Five of Wands and the Two of Pentacles here? Please clarify. We have someone soon. And why is the Queen of Swords here? We have Mysterious Mother. And why is the Four of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles here? We have Puppet. Okay. So there's a couple of messages coming through with this puppet card and then these two cards. The first one is that this person recognizes that it may be very, very difficult for you to open up and trust others because in the past you may have been used in some sort of way, and there's this fear of being manipulated or used, or like used as a pawn or used for something besides simply connecting with another person. So there is this acknowledgement here of this perhaps being something that has been needed to come to the light for a while. However, I also am wondering with someone soon here, the 5 of Wands, the 2 of Pentacles, the 4 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Pentacles, I kind of wonder if this person seems to be reaching a point where they're wondering if they may end up waiting in vain for something to happen, for these walls to come down. There's this small little voice of worry within them. And I get the feeling with the Queen of Swords here, they're viewing you as this Queen of Swords. I get the feeling that they're viewing you as the one who holds the key to the door to either open this connection onto the next stage, onto the next level, or keep the door shut. Yeah. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna pull more oracles. Let's just see if anything else comes through that I've missed. Is there anything that I've missed when it comes to what this person has realized, Spirit? What is it that I've missed? We have stop. We have ideation. And we have anxiety. And on the back of the deck, we have passion. Yeah, these cards are just kind of confirming what I've already said. It feels like they realize that there is a crossroads and they know what direction they want to take, but I feel as though they feel like you may be wanting to take a different direction. With this anxiety here, I get the feeling that this is them realizing that perhaps you have your own experiences and anxieties that you're dealing with that are kind of coming into this connection in some way, shape, or form. And with ideation and passion here, this person is realizing that it kind of feels like this person is trying to take a step back and look at this connection from the bigger picture. Look at this connection from a logical perspective rather than simply listening to themselves and what it is that they want based on their passions and on their emotional needs. Yeah, let's go ahead and get you guys some advice. This was like an oddly specific pile. What advice is there for pile 3 when it comes to this connection? We have my best self. I trust that when I'm doing what's best for me and being the happiest version of myself, the right sorts of relationships will appear in my life. That means I can let go of all of my worries about the future, knowing that my only job is to be happy in this moment, while simultaneously attaining a cosmic level of enlightened awareness and total psychological self-actualization. So obviously, when we were looking at all of these cards, we were looking at what they have realized from their perspective. What it is that they've realized doesn't necessarily mean that there is truth to what it is that they have realized. This is just their perspective and the truths that they're telling themselves. So with this My Best Self card here, it could very well be that the energy that your person is picking up on is not what's actually happening. And what's actually happening is perhaps they're picking up on the fact that you are beginning to doubt whether or not this is truly a connection where it brings out your best self. And if that's the case, I would say this card is kind of encouraging you to really explore that and listen to yourself. If that's not the case, I would say that if you do find yourself resonating with what it is that this person has realized, this card may be really encouraging you to ask yourself whether or not you're allowing yourself to be happy when happiness is presented to you. Obviously, take it as it resonates for you, but those are two different interpretations that are coming to my mind. What advice is there? Okay, and then we have reliability. I am reliable. When I say I'll do something, I take whatever that something is seriously. This applies to all commitments, even the ones that may have seemed small and insignificant to a less reliable me. From now on, flaking is just for dandruff commercials and cereal factories. This is interesting to come out because I believe it was this. It was either self-worth or perseverance. Either one of these cards. I was looking through the guidebook and it quoted, oh my gosh, what is it? The 4 agreements. In the guidebook, it quoted the 4 agreements. And one of the 4 agreements is be impeccable with your word. And for that message to come through, and then for reliability to be here as well, I think that there may be concern here. This is not necessarily advice. This is more so a message that just randomly came through. But there may be some trust issues on your person's end when it comes to whether or not they can depend on you, because of trust issues that you may have about whether or not you can depend on them. That last part might not resonate, but there may be trust issues that this person is realizing that they have from how you're showing up in this connection. And there is a message here, especially if that's resonating for you, and especially if you want to pursue this connection and see it grow. This may be a message for you to be impeccable with your word. It's also always a message to remind us to kind of take a look at our own relationships and see which relationships have been reliable for us, which friends, family members, partners show up in a way that can allow us to be feeling safe, and which ones are kind of creating more chaos or insecurity in our own lives. So again, take it as it resonates for you. But those are the messages that I'm seeing for you guys today, pile 3. Thank you so much for giving me this chance to read for you. Thank you for watching. I do have a channel membership. I have videos posted publicly that have extensions to them. So if that is something that you're interested in participating in, feel free to join the channel membership. But otherwise, I hope that I will have the chance to see you in another video soon. Bye.